Hey, good morning guys, welcome back to the channel. Well, fall is in the air. It's a brisk 45 degrees this morning. So it's the Tuesday after Labor Day. Came in this morning and thought, well, I feel like making a video, so I figured I'd take you guys with me through my morning routine this morning and just show you kind of some of the odds and ends I'm into. Been working on the farm a lot the last couple weeks, so I haven't had as much lumber stuff going on. Been busy with different stuff, making some pine paneling, stuff like that, but nothing that I really felt was that groundbreaking to make a video on. Plus, well, to be honest, I just haven't had a whole lot of time to make videos, so I've kind of been slacking a little bit on that. But as you can see, I got a sweatshirt on. I'm advertising for my buddy Nick. It's that time of year. I love it. My wife thinks I'm crazy, but I love fall. Just something about the crispness in the air. It's probably my favorite season, honestly. For us here on the farm, we're just about done shearing Christmas trees. We got a patch or two left to do. I've moved on to spraying some fall herbicide. For us, you know, getting all those trees sheared is the single biggest job we do all summer. So that's a huge relief off our shoulders to get that done. And it's just nice, these mornings where it's crisp and cool like this, you get a break from that summer heat. You're kind of done sweating. It's weird though, it's like, at least here in Northeast PA, it's like two different seasons. It's 45 degrees right now, it's gonna be 75 degrees this afternoon. So you drive to work with the heat on, you drive home with the air conditioning on. It really is like two different worlds, but I love it. You know, these September days here in PA are some of the nicest you're gonna get all year long. You know, I always say to people, you work outside 365 days a year and you get, like, if you're lucky, a couple weeks of like perfect weather. In my mind, September's like the perfect weather. So I am enjoying every minute of it. I'm actually headed out on the farm here in a little bit. As soon as it lightens up some, I'm gonna be spraying some herbicide. But I gotta run through my morning routine here and check the kilns. I usually start with this one. I don't know if I ever took you in a kiln when it was running and I checked it. It's gonna be kind of loud in there. I don't know how the audio is gonna pick up. So I'm gonna give you a kind of a rundown up front before we go in. Let me grab my moisture meter. I usually go in the morning, flip the light on. I use my trusty Wagner moisture meter. It's a pinless meter, so I can just go around to different spots on the stacks of wood, check my moisture readings, kind of know where I'm at. I'm drying some 8-quarter pine right now. It's actually in both these kilns I have some 8-quarter pine, and just kind of see where it's at, see if I have to make any adjustments, see how it's coming along. So that's what I'm going to go in and do right now. Kiln number one done. On to the second one. Now, the one we were just in, I was smart. I put lights in. That was the last kiln I built. I've learned over the years. This one has no lights in. So, I can take you in there, but you ain't gonna see anything anyway. So, I'm just gonna jump in, check that one, and we'll move along. So that pine is coming along nicely. There's about 4,000 feet in each of these two kilns, a little bit over. So that came in last week. I bought it from my buddy Nick. I have an order for 6,000 feet of pine, and to be honest with you, when it came in, I was extremely nervous because it was super humid last week. It's just a muggy week, and anybody that knows about pine knows the risk of blue staining. So if you're not familiar, I'll explain it to you quickly. When you have pine in a really humid environment, when it's freshly sawn, there's a lot of moisture in the boards, there's a blue fungal stain that you can get on the sapwood. It really is mostly in the sapwood of the log. So it'd be the outer edges of your boards, and it thrives in high humidity, and it'll stain through the board and you won't be able to plane it off, and depending on what you're using it for, it ruins the lumber. Well, the particular order I'm using this stuff for, they don't want blue stain. So to say I was nervous having 6,000 feet come in here and not knowing if I can control the blue stain was not good. Typically, once you get the moisture down, you're okay. It hampers the ability of the fungus to create blue stain. So the goal was to get the moisture down as quick as possible. So I stuck as much as I could in the kiln, but that's a double-edged sword. From my experience running Nile kilns, these L200s that I run, they're rated for about 4,000 board feet of hardwood at a time, but you can only run about 2,000 board feet of softwood. The reason for that is they can only pull so much moisture at a time. And if you fill that chock full of pine and you try to dry it, you're not going to be able to pull enough moisture. It's going to get super humid in there. You're actually going to be counterproductive. You're going to pull that moisture out of the lumber and it's not going to be able to extract it from the chamber quick enough, and you'll end up with mold, you'll end up with blue stain. So you have to be extremely careful. You know, it's one of those things. Kiln drying isn't just a set it and forget it. You kind of have to learn these things the hard way, just like everything else. So I didn't want to overload the kiln. So technically I could fit more lumber in either one of these kilns, but I'd probably end up just ruining it. So I kept it at 2,000 feet for each kiln. It's doing a nice job. I've got them both right around 20%. The lumber looks great, so I think I'm out of the woods. I don't think I have to worry about the blue stain. But if you're doing some math in your head, 2,000 and 2,000 is 4,000, and I said I had 6,000 feet come in. Well, let me show you what I had to do for the other 2,000 feet. Oh, this is quite a production. In my whole career, I've never had to do this, but, well, you do what you got to do. So the kilns were full. I got them started the day it came in, so it wasn't sitting around here too long. Well, then I was left with these two stacks. And it's like, well, what am I going to do with those two stacks? So I brought them in here under the mill shed because I'm not sawing anything this week, and yep, that's what we got going on. Every fan I own is blowing at this stack of wood. So far it's working. I'm going to put the moisture meter on here. Now I don't expect these things to be that low yet, but so far we're blue stain free. And you can see here what I mean. This is the sapwood, this is the heartwood. This is where you'll start to see blue stain, and there was a little bit here. Let me see. That's what we're talking about. There's just a little bit on the edge here. That was actually like that when I got it, and it hasn't gotten worse. So that's what we want to try to prevent, that this doesn't become widespread. There's a little bit on that board right on the very edge. I can tolerate a piece or two because I have a little bit extra here, but based on the fact this has been here about 5 days now and hasn't gotten worse, I think we're out of the woods. I mean, I can actually stand here and feel that air coming through, and just having that air movement, taking that surface moisture off of those boards will be enough to save this stuff. When I flip the kiln cycle here, that stuff will take a couple more days in the kiln to dry. That's going to come out, this will go in, we'll finish it, we'll be good. So yeah, this is some real nice wood. So I don't want to ruin it because I have a lot of money into it. So let me whip out the moisture meter here just to get an idea what this stuff's ranging. See, this Wagner's pretty neat. This is an older one. I've had this for many years, but it still does a great job. If you can see my chicken scratch here, I've got all the different wood types I typically run here. You probably, I don't know if you can read that, with its settings. So I dial this into the particular wood I'm checking, and that gives me really good results. So I have it set for pine right now. Well, that's actually 16, 17, 15, 28. I'm actually surprised. 29. 17, okay. Sure. There's still some spots that are a little high, but I'm actually impressed. We've actually been lucky. Like the last 2 days, the humidity's been kind of low. So when you got fans going like this and low humidity, honestly, you can dry lumber outside sometimes faster than you can in the kiln, because you're not limited as to how much moisture you can pull. Now, a lot of times that's a bad thing, especially with hardwoods, you know, white oak, stuff like that. You can ruin it, honestly, you know, if you try something like this outside. For this pine, it's not a big deal. Pine, you can dry real fast. You're probably not going to over dry it, especially 1-inch thick pine. Basically, the sky's the limit. If you can pull the moisture from it, it'll take it. You got to be a little bit more careful with this thicker stuff. So I'm probably going to let these fans run today yet, then probably knock them off, because I'll probably be at a safe spot after that. So that's a big sigh of relief for me. That makes me happy that didn't turn into a disaster, because boy, when I saw the truck rolling with that pine, I was like, I hope I can pull this off. So running these fans for a couple days is cheap insurance, really. They won't add much to the power bill relative to everything else around here. I know it's redneck. I'll show you here. This is some odds and ends, just a couple pine boards I had cut and laid here with no exact purpose, and then I kind of forgot about them, and well, that's what you get. It's my bad. Shouldn't do that, but it happens sometimes. So with all my lumber happy and drying well, and well, that sets off my week to a good start. It's starting to lighten up. We're gonna have a beautiful sunrise here. I'm headed out to the field. Gonna do some spraying. I had this in the background of a few videos, but didn't really talk about it. Built a new sprayer for this fall for certain applications. It's got these wings on it, and there's spray nozzles in there. These are spring loaded, so we can go along and spray between the rows of Christmas trees, and we don't have to worry about getting drift on any of the trees. So it just solely sprays the weeds. This is made particularly for going after poison ivy and some woody vines. So that was a new creation I fabbed up here in the last couple weeks. So this is my ride for the day. I'm gonna get it fired up. I actually have it, don't usually keep it over here in the lumber building, but I parked it here over the weekend because I'm working over on this side of the farm. So I'm gonna get it fired up and hit the field. Just wanted to bring you guys along, give you a little check-in what I got going on. I got a bunch of lumber projects coming up here, so hopefully you'll have some more lumber content. But you know, just trying to wrap up some of this Christmas tree work we've been working on, and I'm still doing some lumber stuff, so I thought I'd take you along here and we do a little check-in. So thanks for watching, guys.